Okay, page 53, 5-3. Okay, and we have ionic compounds, and the only thing we're adding in is the covalent, I can spell, sure, covalent compounds or molecular compounds. So today you wrote a quiz about ionic compounds, and you had to decide, were they in the red zone, the metal, or was it a non-red zone metal? What do you do if your metal is in the red zone? You use a Roman numeral, okay? Roman numeral. Samvid, could you close the door for us, please? I don't know what's going on in there, but okay, so we have a Roman numeral, and if it's not in the red zone, then we do not use a Roman numeral. We change the ending to "-ide" if it's on the periodic table, or with a polyatomic ion, we just keep their name, there's no "-ide." Okay, so that's what you did today. The only thing that we're adding in on quiz 6 is that there will be some covalent compounds mixed in there. And what do we need to use when we have a covalent compound? We use the prefixes, okay? So what's going to happen in quiz 6 is that you will have some ionic that need Roman numerals, some ionic that don't need Roman numerals. You will also have some covalent compounds, then you will need to use the prefixes, all right? So, how do we know if it is covalent? Well, it is made of two nonmetals, all right? So to prepare for quiz 6, what you will be doing is you will be working on page 54. Okay, there's a couple pages after that as well if you want to do more practice. Some people might be ready to write it today. Some people, you'll be writing it first thing tomorrow because it's not very different from today's quiz, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a look at acids, okay? And that's brand new because some people have done quiz 6 already and they might need to learn about acids. So let's go learn about acids. I think we're on about page 70 something. Let me figure out where we're at. 4.5a. Yes. This is on page 74. And the first thing that you need to learn about acids is what is an acid. You can recognize it's from its name because it will say acid. So it's not a problem recognizing an acid from the name because it will literally just say acid. Recognizing it from the formula is a little teeny bit more tricky. It will begin with an H or it will end in COOH, COO, okay? So either it begins with an H or it ends in COOH, COOH. But you'll notice in both cases there is an H. It is the H plus ion that makes it an acid. Okay, so we have a positive ion. So what's going to happen is that positive H plus ion is going to be paired up with a negative ion, an anion. And that means if we have an acid and you recognize that it is an acid, look, there's our H, so that tells us it is an acid, which means you have to give it its acid name. which in this case is hydrochloric acid. Okay? You're not going to use the covalent naming system hydrogen monochloride because it's not just a regular molecular compound. It is an acid, and acids have a special naming system. Okay? We're going to take a look at some common acids. You've probably heard of hydrochloric acid, yes? Have you heard of hydrochloric acid? Yeah? That's HCl. So this hydrochloric acid is based on the Cl- ion. What is the name of Cl-? You guys don't know the name of the Cl- ion? Chloride, thank you. What is the name of the F- ion? It's named fluoride, yes? And we have H plus with Br minus, that is bromide. And we have H plus with I minus, which is iodide. How does the name of the ion relate to the name of the acid? What do we have to add and what do we have to replace? We have to put an ick on the end instead of an ide. Okay, so we need to have an ick. What else do we need to have? We need to have hydro. So anytime the anion ends in ide, if its name ends in ide, we put a hydro on the front and an ick on the end. And is that going to be difficult to remember? It could be, but thanks to Tyler DeWitt, we have a mnemonic device for that. A mnemonic device. You don't have to write this down. Why is it moving everywhere? Oh, because my elbow's on the keyboard. That, why? Okay, Control Z. Z. Okay. All right. So a mnemonic device. Meme is from the Greek for memory. You don't need to write this down. This is just for your interest. Memory. I can spell. That doesn't look like memory. I don't know. Why am I wasting time on this? Anyway, it's a memory device. And the memory device for ions that end in ide is as follows. My ride, ide, has hydrox. Now, if you don't know what hydraulics are, have you ever seen those cars that like move up and down and bounce around and stuff? That's because they have hydraulic lift to them. Okay, so if you say my ride has hydraulics, that means you've got one of those cars that move up and down. If you have no idea what that means, then I don't know how this is going to help you, but maybe you'll be able to remember the phrase anyway. Okay? So what that means is that if I have any ion that ends in ide, I just put a hydro on the front and I replace the ending with ick. So let's say, for example, I had HCN. Who is the negative ion in that compound? The negative ion is Cn minus, where would you find that? That's on your pink sheet. Cn minus is called cyanide. Ooh, look, we have an ide. So what would we put in front? We would put hydro. And then we would put the cyan. And what would we put instead of ide? Ick. And then we write the word acid. Okay, so anytime you have ide, that's how you deal with the name, hydroic. My ride has hydraulics. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. Ooh. So this group, just to the right of those other ones, what don't they have? They don't have hydro. Hydro is only for ide ions, okay? And you might notice there's two types of acids in here. What are the two types? One ends in 8. Well, one ends in ick, and one ends in us. So we have icks and we have us's. So what I'd like you to do is for all these 3 here that all have ick, let's find out what the name of the ion is. So for this one, we have SO4 2-. What is the name of that ion? Sulfate. What is the name of PO4 3-? Phosphate. And what is the name of CO3 2-? Carbonate. So what is the rule when we have an 8 ion? Do we use hydro? Oh my God, why are you guys looking at me? You should just be like, no, we don't use hydro. Do you see a hydro anywhere? No, there is no hydro. What do we change the ending to?
What? Why are you panicking?
Because nobody's answering me. I'm asking like the easiest questions in the universe and nobody is answering me. It's frustrating. It's like, can you imagine? Yeah, you replace the 8 with M.
Oh, wait, what?
You take the 8 and you turn it into ick. You take the 8 and you turn it into ick. You take the 8 and you turn it into ick. And if you cannot remember that, you can remember the mnemonic device. I ate something icky. I ate something icky. So there's no hydro, right? My ride has hydraulics. I ate something icky. Now, how about those us? What is the name? Yeah, we have SO3 2-, which is sulfite. Okay, so ite becomes us. So how are we going to remember that one? My Sprite is delicious. Yes? So now you have 3 little memory aids, mnemonic devices to help you with this. My ride has hydraulics. I ate something icky. My Sprite is delicious. Okay? So let's say I gave you BO3-. Let's say I gave you H3BO3. You need to look at that and say, who is the anion? Just the formula. We've got BO3. What's the charge of BO3? You should be able to tell just from looking at this formula. What's the charge of hydrogen? Positive. How many hydrogens do we have? 3. What's the charge of borate? 3. How did I know it was borate? Well, because I'm a chemistry teacher. How would you know it's borate? You will be able to use your data sheets, and you'll notice if you go from your pink sheet, if you turn to page number 2 on your pink sheet, there is a list of more anions, okay? Because otherwise we don't have enough to practice our acids with. So when you're working with acids, you can look here and you can say, oh, well, under B, BO3, 3 minus is borate, okay? So we'd go back here and we would say H3BO3. I recognize that that is an acid, so it needs its special acid name. The name of this ion is borate. So it would be bor what? Borus or boric? Boric, because I ate something icky. And then we have to put the word acid on the end, of course. Okay? Now, there's just 2 little teeny tiny things that make acids a little bit weird, and that has to do with sulfur and phosphorus. S&P, salt and pepper. S and P, sulfur and phosphorus, need an extra syllable. Sulfur needs an Phosphorus needs an or. I know. Why are there 2 O's? I don't know. So if we had, let's say, for example, H2SO3, okay, we would say to ourselves, what is, oh, first of all, we have to recognize, oh, it's an acid. It needs its acid name. Yes? Then we look at our anion and we say, what is the name of that anion? What is the name of the SO3 anion? You can look on your data sheet and you'll be like, okay, it's in the S's. SO3 is sulfite. Okay? Sulfite. Now, if we were following just the logical rules, it would be sulfus acid. Yes, because my Sprite is delicious. But it is not sulfus acid. Because remember, sulfur needs an extra syllable. It needs the So it's not sulfus acid. It is sulfurous acid. Okay? And my Sprite is delicious. That's why we end up with the us on the end. Okay? Now, if you're finished quiz 6 and you want to work ahead on the acids, you can work ahead on pages 75 to 78. Other than that, you will be practicing page 54. If you want more practice, page 55, 56 also has practice, but you can write quiz 6 either today or first thing tomorrow. And don't forget, what if you did not get the mark you want on your test? What can you do? You can come in and do corrections. When can you come in? Flex time or lunchtime? I'll be here both. Okay? Is tomorrow Wednesday? Oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's good.
I don't know. Yeah. So folks, you're working on page 54, or you're working ahead. You're not sitting here doing that. And you're not sitting playing on your phone. I'm taking care of myself.
I will take care of myself. Oh, yeah. Yes. What? If that works. Okay, why don't you do that? Okay. Yes. It's not actually razor, it's fine.
Also, is that like two in the first thing?
Yeah.
You might not be sure. Okay.
I'll go to the bracket.
So basically, the brackets are there.
Okay, so I was going and I was about to get ball.
Yes.
The more
That's very true. Exactly.
I'm not gonna go for this.
Let's go look.
I am one of those guys. My ass is, I know this morning.
Yeah, for sure.
You're stupid. You don't have to do that. That's the other stuff.
Right, and so like they do it.
The other thing was something.
You know, I think phones to in your bag during class time, that is like a legal thing by the government of C. Legally.
Well, yeah, it's for real, but it's
Plus, they've actually shown that you are distracted by your phone, even if it's on your desk.
I'm really well at it.
Yeah, like you actually score more poorly. Like they've done studies, like they've had people who studied something with their phone on their desk, and then another group who studied it with their phone in a different room. And people who had their phone in a different room did the best. The people who had their phone in the bag did second best. And then the people who had the phone on their desk did the worst.
But like, what the people with the phone, because they'd be like secure about the fact that they're posting. But like, people with one other, they'd be like, oh no. And then I start freaking out, right?
And why did they do better?
Second source.
Second source, yes, I can.
It's on Teams.
No, yeah, so you're right.
Yes, you can do it. Yes. Source, University of Texas at Austin.
This guys, I think I threw out the repeat question. Can we
Yeah,
fix it?
go for it. Just
But-
fix it. Just fix it.
Fix it?
Yeah, fix it. Yep. Journal reference. The Journal of the Association for Consumer Research.
But I mean, I knew that after I submitted.
That's okay. I don't care. Just whatever. Just
Give me
fix it.
mine. I want to fix something.
Sure.
Wait, seriously?
If I can find it. If I haven't marked it yet.
3 marks. Don't it doesn't know.
Then I get to see my mark. Did I lose mark in Thank you. No, sure.
No, I wish I did. I tried really hard, but Monday.
Yeah, not.
It was yeah. First, write in the for the neutral atom. Then that's why it's yeah. You can just sign it. They are not, it's a means to an end.
My best score is
So I just write this, right? That's it? That's the only thing? A bracket and a sign, that's it? You will do the whole
Form
thing?
B. No, no, just the side, just do those.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
When is the quiz on acid?
The quiz on acids will be not tomorrow, but the next day.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. Thank you.
So the test on this chapter will be on.
It's gonna be next week. I'm thinking maybe Thursday. Yeah.
I have to hand this in. My social.
Right?
Yeah, basically.
It's literally like write the name on one side of my
Not my words.
Yeah.
Not my words.
Good job.
Not my words.
I've never said that. Paper trail. Oh, yeah.
We'll just move on. And it's a short test, like. Yeah. This one is done. No.
Oh, it's like. Oh, I feel myself.
Hard to say.
I actually thought it was like it died.
Probably. I have to take afterward. So, like, what happens is Mondays and Tuesdays are great. So on Monday. And then it's in one so I couldn't charge her lunch. And then today after school, well, today's different because I have to make dinner. Oh, because I was so sound because I was just running her day. Right? So it has to happen today and then I have to work out past tomorrow when I'm children.
And now I need to organize my stuff. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of tech you have.
Not have a student teacher, I mean, no, not student teacher, like, yeah, peer tutor. I signed up to be somebody's
The
tutor.
problem was that block 6, which is when I have my grade 9s, there were so many people who really needed peer tutors, really needed them like desperately. Whereas I could use one, but I don't have to have one.
Free. So I had a free block, right? But then I decided I didn't want to like do nothing.
Right.
So I just went into a random class and I asked them if I could just be their pre-tutor, but I wasn't in the pre-tutor course.
Actually, I would love that. That would be way better.
You could ask.
That'd be
I should've asked
so
you.
way better.
Did you wish Brendan a happy birthday?
No, I forgot to wish Brendan a happy birthday today.
It's on the board.
I know.
Is it?
He was out of the classroom when I saw that, and then I got busy doing things, and then yeah. The mere presence of your smartphone reduces brain power. Yep.
Oh, it was actually so busy last week, like,
Yeah.